Okay, I decided to make an analysis of The Black Cat from Edgar Allan Poe since he's one of my favorite English writers, and especially The Black Cat is one of the stories that I have not only enjoyed but also used a lot for academic purposes since, well, I already give classes as an English teacher, and I use this story a lot. Uh, the Black Cat is a horror story that is created by the American writer Edgar Allan Poe, and I think it was made in 1844. Some people consider it, of course, one of the most terrifying of the origin of literature. This is, I think, it has some dark elements. So, and I think this is one of the darkest stories that Poe made. And of course, as well as his, how can I say, big psychological tales. I would say they used to have like a mix of two elements, which is usually fear and psychology is also involved there. And well, that leads straightly to the, how can I say, the manifestation of terror that is which is today known as the distinction artistic of this writer, since it can be determined as a literature recipe that somehow inspires to combine fear with art and some sense of amazement. Uh, after having made this maybe introduction of scary narrations that Edgar Allan Poe used to do, it can be said that Poe's personality, it was really similar to the protagonist of the story that he used to make. Uh, but in real life, it seems to be that it turned out that he was full of love, where he also actually loved animals for real. Um, I think that it was said that even more than cats. Uh, the Black Cat, for this case, became a model of how he entered the mind of a person so obsessed that he can cause a crime without having any credible reason. So, for this case, the narrator of this story is a, well, for this case, they don't actually have a name for the criminal of the story. So that's one element that could be interpreted in many ways, that nobody knows the name of this criminal, and he wants to convince the reader that he is not insane. He starts that by saying in the beginning of his story, and that she not be held, how can I say, accountable for the crimes that he actually committed. There are some, the story has some symbols. Well, there are many symbols there that can be interpreted. For this case, the Black Cat, for example, which is more than just the title of the character, is also, it can be regarded as an important symbol. Like, for example, the omen of the legend that the narrator believes that Pluto and his successor have led him down the path of madness and immorality, when it's actually alcoholism that somehow he also uses to justify his actions. And that is actually the second element, which is the alcohol, that in the meantime the narrator begins to see the Black Cat as an outward manifestation of everything that the narrator sees as evil. He blames the animal for all his problems, and it is actually his addiction to alcohol, to drink, more than anything else, that is the real reason for the narrator's mental decline. And actually he admits it in one paragraph of the story. So the Black Cat from Edgar Allan Poe is one of my favorite stories from him because, and well, I can use it for academic purposes. It is not a long story, so it can be read in a really quickly. And well, so it's short. The vocabulary is not complex, and for a generation that likes mystery and drama, Edgar Allan Poe has the perfect elements to engage students to reading at least.